say to writers that they're thinking about writing who are verbal in their communicative style? What little couple of tidbits of advice?
Well, obviously being a rookie and haven't sold book one yet, so maybe a total. I've written one, you know, and so. But you know, to me, the victory was in the doing of it. Even if I don't sell a book, I did it. You know, if I just have something to give to my grandkids, I'm okay with that. I don't want to. I didn't write out, and I don't think it's good to write out of the vision of, gee, I could sell books or make money or be well known or be popular. I don't think those are good motives to write out of. John Wimber always said, which I know you were very close to him as well, founder of the Vineyard. You know, pastors ought to wait till they're at least 50 years old to write their first book. Now, I don't think he meant that in a legalistic way, and I think there's some young guys out there that are writing some great stuff. But I get it about what he was saying.
Right.
Is that when the tendency in my 20s and 30s would have been to write out of either the arrogance of let me tell you how to do it, or the pride of you better recognize who I am and see how important I am, or I need to be successful, whatever. But it's part of getting to 50 by the grace of God and taking enough lickings and getting beat up and failed and flawed and broken and humbled. You know, it's helped purify my heart. I'm not going to say it's totally pure, that I have no selfish motives in the writing of the book. I mean, I hope it's a success, you know, but I didn't write it for that reason. So I think the first thing I'd say to people is have fun doing it. If it's not fun, yeah, it's work, it's labor. I'm 2 years into this thing and haven't got one book published yet. And it's been a laborsome process. So I think the first thing would be just to have fun. Do it, whether you ever get published or not, have fun doing it. Find something that you're passionate about. Not just a good idea or good thought. To me, I have to write out of my world and my heart and my life. It's if you cut me, I bleed ugly. I am ugly. That's the concept, the philosophy, the heart of it. That's been my ministry, my style. People that know me aren't going to read The Power of Ugly and go, I never knew that about you, Jamie. Those that know me are going to go, that's Jamie in print. That's Jamie.
And reading it, I said when I was reading it, look, people are going to actually see themselves in the book. Because a lot of the kinds of tales that you tell and spin, they've got similar kinds of things in their own life, etc., but didn't know what to do with them.
Didn't know what to do with
them. Don't know how to react to them. Don't know exactly to say them out loud to anybody, etc. And so you may find that people get actually freed up to tell their own stories in the process.
I've always believed that so many people tell me over the years that, gee, your sermons are talking right to me. And because I learned years ago that I am my best illustrator of a message. If I want to know what people are struggling, what do I struggle with? If I want to know where guys are at, what are their temptations, what are mine? And so, sin is and temptation is common to all of us. And there's a commonness to humanity that if it just get real, it connects with other people. Yeah, you hit it right on, Win, because my hope is, you can judge Jamie. Oh, that was stupid, and why did you do that, and wow, this guy's always making, or they can hold it up in like a mirror and say, that's me, that's me. And I can find freedom in knowing that God uses this guy with flaws and weaknesses and brokenness. He doesn't have it all figured out, and God can use me. And that's part of my cry in The Power of Ugly, is that, get in the game. God can use you. Don't let your limitations be like liabilities. They're really your assets. They're your strengths. Don't let your scars, do a whole chapter on ugly scars. Don't let your scars, your failures, your wounds, they don't disqualify you. And actually that's the opposite. The power of ugly is that they enable you to realize, if God does anything with me, it'll be Him, not me. And so it's really a celebration of grace, the book is. And so I'd say to writers, And I love the wisdom I got from Anne Lamott. I mean, she's got a great book called Bird by Bird on writing, and she just tells you, do it. Just do it. And I know this will be a little graphic, but we're not for the non-religious. But one of the wisdom statements that radically helped me out of her book, Bird by Bird, is she said, don't be discouraged by what she called, and it's always safe when you're quoting someone else. It's not, I didn't say it, I'm just quoting her.
That's right.
And she said, don't be discouraged on your first draft of what you write. She called it the shitty first draft. And, when I first wrote the first copy, which the book Ugly has been revised 7 times since the first handwritten. When I wrote that first handwritten one, and Katie transcribed it, got it into type, sent it back to me, I was so excited. I basically thought I was done.
You're done. Huh?
I thought, man, this is good. And I got it back, and I read it, and it was embarrassing. It was so, it was skeletal. It needed flesh and organs, and it needed some fat on the bone. I mean, it needed a lot. And I literally felt each revision, I thought, this is it. This is it. And then guys like Jason, one of our associate pastors at the church, and Caleb, these 2 guys have gone line by line through this book with me. And they have helped. No, Jamie, you're too ADD, and you got to take these out. And this paragraph should be over here. And they have really. So Ugly has been a community effort, and we actually have had a professional editor work through it. And again, I thought when she'd be done, which was like number 5. Edited.
She'd be done.
I thought we're done. Put a bow on it. Send it to Harmon Press. Publish it. And we realized we got to go back through it all over again, line by line, challenging some of the things she said, agreeing with most of it, but realizing, no, that's not me, that's not my voice, that's not how I would say it. And so I had to go. So we're at number 7 now in your hands. Hopefully you won't send it back and say we have to start over.
Well, one of the things that a person told me years ago about publishing is that sooner or later you just have to stop and send it to the publisher. Because you can always change it. You can change it forever and ever and ever and ever.
Well, no one gave me that wisdom, but Jason, who's actually filming here, when I would call him up and say, buddy, I got another story. It's going to be, no more stories. There's no room. The door's shut. The book's finished. And so, for another time, I'm stockpiling ugly stories now.
Is that ugly too?
Ugly or more ugly, still ugly, ugly too, uglier, ugliest.
So you could do it.
We could do a trilogy
you
on
ugly, uglier, and ugliest.
It's been a joy though. It really has discovered. And I'll tell you, for me, my discovery, and for those that may listen to this, if it gets in the hands of any of you that are in leadership, other pastors, what really freed me to write as a pastor is that our church gave us a gift. After 30 years of ministry, they gave us our first sabbatical in 30 years. And we took 3 months off. We went to Scotland for 17 days, and there's a book there. My granddaughter's already given me the title. It's Scotland, Scotland, Scotland. That's all Grampy talks about. And it's a good story. I'll tell it another time. But anyway, taking that time of letting go of the church, and we let go. I mean, for the first time in 30 years. It wasn't a vacation. I laid hands on Caleb, my assistant pastor, and I said, church is yours. And we walked away. So much so I thought I was done. It was a gift. But while I was on sabbatical, I began to exercise a part of me that I journal. I journal all the time. We're big on journaling in our church, teaching people how to listen to the Holy Spirit and read the scriptures and write. But the freedom of the sabbatical, letting the land rest in one area of my life, allowed the other fields to grow fertile. And writing was a new discovery for me. And so I'm just grateful to our church that enabled us to begin the journey. And writing is, for me, is become a passion. I'm excited this next season of my life. I hope to put more words on the page.
More words on the page.